So I'm having like an extremely intense mental breakdown after an already really long, particularly difficult day. And I'm really off my autistic anti-breakdown schedule right now. Um, and I really like can't think or see straight. And I thought that I would be too mature at this point in my life. Like, I'm 27 years old. I've put up with a lot of bullshit from a lot of types of people, and I've used apps like Twitter and Reddit and Instagram every single day for fucking years. So I know people's bullshit, both successful and otherwise, inside and out, and I still can't do it today. Um, I really wish that people had advice for people that don't have anyone, like no family or a dying family or no friends, because every advice out there just assumes that the average person has that. Um, and I just want to say that I really loathe, really truly loathe America. I really do. I follow some A-list pop stars on Instagram, not because I really care about anything that they do or their music. I personally think it's all just a massive, stupid, narcissistic game of trying to prove who's better than who, which I don't think is a thing or ever will be, no matter how many fat, successful men in the industry say that it is, which is a video that I just watched concerning an A-list pop star. And he dropped a lot of hints, saying that, like, he thinks that only certain people have a gift for songwriting or for art in general. It kind of sounded like, and he said she has something inside of her that made her create this beautiful song that perfectly captures emotions. And he says that real songwriters are a dying breed. And he just kept going on, and instead of just congratulating her and being happy for her, he constructed this whole culture in a really malicious, detrimental way, saying like that most people can't achieve that and that they never will and that they don't deserve to feel like they can. And I really fucking hate America. Like, it's all just a massive fake rat race. And if you're someone who's especially emotional or artistic or sensitive, like not artistic in the sense that you intend to be artistic, but you just naturally think in terms of art and expression and storytelling and dabbling in songs or anything in general, it is hell to be in America, because the constant narrative we are being told every minute of every day, if you do anything other than just stare at a wall, is that like we have to be these exceptional gods at what we do, or we're completely worthless and don't deserve anything or to be seen or cared about or fucking anything, and we just have to be stomped down by these pop stars for the rest of our life. And it's become so inhuman and so invalidating towards people. Like, in the comments, there was one person that said, "Oh, so true," about what he said, because it's so hard to see people as people these days. And some other people said things like, um, it's her world and we're just living in it. And I've heard that about other pop stars when I was young, like Taylor Swift, and I'm so fucking sick of it. And it sucks that I have no power to change it. I block these pop stars, I unfollow them, I try to pretend they don't exist, and that kind of helps a little bit. And it's not even them that I have a problem with, it's the culture that surrounds them, that there's this extremely abrasive idea that people don't deserve to feel like they have something inside of them, or to feel like that they're good enough to express art, which is something that every person on this earth should feel like they're good enough for, the same way that anyone should feel like they're worthy of love or a family. I mean, it's literally a spiritual need for us to express ourselves through art. It just is. It's just inherent inside of us. And I hate the fact that, of course, America has to corrupt that incredibly pure concept and turn it into this pig race of a competition. It's devastating. It's absolutely devastating. And then on top of that, I go on Twitter, and there's this stupid tweet where someone goes on about how, like, nobody gives a shit about your depression unless you have loved ones, and like nobody cares about, your mental health or your depression. And all of these people are usually very low quality followers anyway, but I just consumed all that content in like a string of just going through my apps just now, and my brain right now is just like a complete absolute fucking wreck. And I was already having a trash mental health day anyway, just because of personal problems, but this is more of like a cultural problem. And like I really don't understand truly like why people feel the need to turn art into a massive rat race. Like, if you think most people suck, okay, fine. You know, like, it's your right to think that. I've met and I've dealt with plenty of people that have this philosophy that most people suck, most people don't have souls, whatever. But like, I just fucking hate it, and I'm going to complain about it because I don't think that it's right. And you know, I'm old enough at this point in my life, and I'm an original thinker enough, and I'm insightful enough that I can see right through people's bullshit, even if it is from an A-list pop star, or even if it is like from a guy who's announcing that award. Like, these people are just coming from their own sense of personal bias, and like the video itself only has like a couple of thousand comments. Like, it's just like a small little speck in the grand scheme of things in this large complex world, and I get that, but right now I just feel like really crippled and disoriented and devastated. And this has happened in the past before with a lot of female A-list pop stars in America and the people that support them, who are always dropping hints that, you know, people aren't like allowed to feel like they're real songwriters, or like their art is considered real songwriting. And on top of that, people are just so abrasive these days about how the fact that like nobody cares about your mental health except for your loved ones. And I have a problem with that for multiple reasons, because like, not for me, but just like on a general human philosophy level, because like, even if someone does have loved ones that do care about their mental health, you do realize that it's still going to destroy a person's mental health over a period of time, for them to like constantly be getting these messages when they're at work, through pop culture, through media, through movies, which is kind of impossible to avoid in America, because even if you get up and go to work, a lot of the time there's like the radio and there's commercials playing these pop stars and talking about how amazing they are, etc., and kind of making you feel like your neck is underneath their boot, so to speak. And it amazes me that people in America are just such open pieces of fucking sociopathic shit. Like, both successful people and unsuccessful. And I don't care how much of a nobody I am. I am too old and too jaded and too traumatized and full of too much pain and experience to just like sit and take it at this point in my life. Like, I will click that block button, whether it's an A-list or a nobody. Not because I think that it's this grand statement, because obviously it's not, because I'm a nobody and I'm one of those very people that these successful people are coming at. But just to like give an example about the fact that this is what people should do, like, you shouldn't allow America and its celebrities and its pop stars and its the industry to crush you, because that's kind of what I want it to do right now. And I want all these no-name Twitter assholes to tell me like, well, you know, it's not the world's responsibility to care about your mental health. That's the responsibility of your loved ones. First of all, some of us don't have loved ones, or we barely have loved ones, or they're dying, or they're aging. But second of all, even if someone does have an amazing personal life, that doesn't make it okay for America to be such a openly sociopathic, doesn't give a shit, stupid fucking culture. Like, it's just, even if someone, I mean, people will literally have husbands and wives and kids, and they will still owe themselves, you know, because it's just inherently crap for our mental health to constantly be giving these signals that like these celebrities deserve to have these amazing, incredible lives of like getting, you know, $20 million to $40 million, and, you know, being able to travel the world and having an amazing life for their families and kids just because they do this one little thing really good, or in my opinion, really just the same as everyone else. It's just that they were born in the right location, or they had the right connections. I see talented people on this app all the time who will never become anybody, because that's just the way it is. And the world is going to abuse these poor people for the rest of their life, telling them that they were just never good enough, that it's not right, that it's their fault. And unfortunately, even if you know better deep down inside, and you know that people are just full of shit, both successful and otherwise, it's still going to get to you, because you're only human, you know, and your human nature is naturally going to be crushed by that constant messages. And I'm just so sick of it. I'm so sick of being surrounded by such a sociopathic, uncaring society, and people just being like, well, that's just the way it is. And it's like, yeah, but it shouldn't be. And I'm not going to pretend like it's okay at this point in my life, 27 years old. I mean, when I was 14, I would have like attempted to owe myself but with the way that I feel right now. But I'm kind of a little bit at a point in my life where I realize that people are just full of fucking shit. They really are. And I'm insecure, and I'm not saying that I'm especially talented or that a lot of people are, but you still shouldn't talk down on people, and I'm not going to pretend like it's. And frankly, I think it's really important, like really, really important, that mentally ill normal people start to be more open about how absolute shit this makes people feel. Because I can't be the only person. Like, when I look through these pop stars comments, it's always about no-name regular people that are like agreeing with the message that most people are not good enough and not talented, and that it's just this pop star's world and we're all living in it, and saying like, oh yeah, most people don't even seem like people anymore. Like, that was a comment someone made tonight that I'm still reeling from how like abrasive and how terrible it was, and what it suggests that like if you're not good at art, you're like less than human, which is such a ridiculously terrible thing to say. Like, art is like really important, and I feel like everyone deserves to be considered an artist, but more important, and I truly believe this, and I know that if anyone important ever saw this video, they would probably, or even just anybody, because everyone's a malicious fucking idiot these days, but if any, like, truly I believe that like there's no such thing as like superior art. There's just oversaturated art, and by oversaturated I mean that like there's just art that just happens to have the right connection so that it blows up, so that people are convinced that it's like this masterpiece. And like, I truly believe that there's no such thing as good art, because there's no such thing as one set personality or perspective or thoughts or feelings. And it is, maybe some art connects with the world universally more than others technically, but I think that it's mainly just blows up because it's put in such a way like out there into the world that everybody is just naturally exposed to it, and therefore people feel like it's this incredible masterpiece. And even if it was, which I think it's not really a masterpiece as much as it is just a regular form of human expression that is produced by other people every day that's overexposed, it wouldn't excuse talking down on people. Because the only thing that makes art valuable is to comfort people from whatever trauma is happening in people's life. And isn't it kind of like a weird, ironic circle to like go back around and to, you know, start at one point and say, okay, people are suffering, I'm going to make art about it. Oh, wow, it blew up and now I'm a millionaire. And now all these successful people are surrounding me who also have made art. And then to like use that success against people and to make people feel like shit and to feel like that they don't deserve to feel good about their expression, or that they're not considered a part of the dying breed that's so exclusive known as good art. Like, this shit is genuinely enough to make me want to owe myself if I believed that it was actually true, that this idea that only a handful of people deserve to feel like real artists. Like, it's enough that I literally can't see or think straight. Like, I saw the video like 40 minutes ago and I'm still like can't quite think straight, and that's just crazy. Not because I believe what the guy said was true, but just because it sucks that people believe that, like truly, truly believe that only a handful of people are capable of making what is considered real art, or like true songwriters or true artists. Like, I do agree that some people sound better than others, but I don't think that it's so serious to the point that you should tell people that they don't deserve to feel like a human being, or that they don't deserve to express their humanity. It's not right, it's not necessary, and it's just complete evil. And the worst part is that there's so many brainless sheep in America. As a matter of fact, I would say there was only like 1,500 comments so far on the video, and almost all of them were just regular people like me that were just agreeing with it. Like, oh yeah, most people suck, most people aren't human, and most people don't deserve to consider themselves capable of art. And I don't know what these people's motivation is for talking so terribly to people and for spewing out these narratives like nobody cares about your depression. No one has an obligation to like create a more healthy culture of America. Like, like, do you not think that that system isn't going to eventually harm you? Like, maybe it won't happen today, maybe it won't happen till next month, but eventually, if you cause a system that does nothing but not care about you, that's going to come back and hit you in the face yourself one day. And maybe it already has, and maybe that's the reason why you're talking and agreeing with such a sociopathic culture. But, a couple of years ago, I started to realize that celebrities are kind of like, almost like filtered sociopaths in a sense. And I feel like you have to kind of be an original thinker to actually see that. Because celebrities kind of are like sociopaths and narcissists and just really terrible people. They're just dressed up differently than your average politician. Like, they have an obnoxious amount of money that they don't use for anything other than their own stuff, their own gain. They're constantly spewing out messages that like nobody deserves or can reach what they achieved, as if being successful isn't rare for all kinds of reasons. And talent is only like one of those reasons in most cases, if even that. And just like constantly spewing out these social and pop culture messages that like they're like these people that are rightfully stepping on your neck, and like all the normal people are just like cheering it on, and I don't know why. And I don't initially have a problem with pop stars and celebrities and female pop stars and successful people. I actually used to enjoy following them in the past, because it's like, okay, like this person's living an interesting, exceptional life and achieving a lot. Sure, I'll follow. I'll try to learn something from their life or observing them, but almost so many of the pages have like this really, really like extremely sociopathic exclusive air to it, that like, oh, there's just something inside of me that you just can never achieve, and there's nothing that you can do about it. And if what I'm saying is making you depressed, well, nobody cares. That's your own problem. And it's just so inhuman. Like, it's just so wrong. And I don't know why both the regular and successful people the same. I don't know how they just like go to bed at night like feeling totally content with the fact that their whole culture and the messages that they're putting out is just so exclusive and inhuman. Like, I know that everyone is just like a selfish, like compassionless fucking idiot, especially if they're rich and famous and if they're winning the game. But I don't know why more people don't have a problem with like celebrity culture, and why more people aren't more like outraged and just sick and fed up with this whole culture of like, oh, celebrities, they're just inherently better than you, and they always will be, and nothing that you ever do will ever be good enough, and you'll never be able to compare, and you may as well just accept it, and it's my world and you're just living in it. And I've seen those exact words being said before, and it completely devastates me, but not because I think it's right or because I think it's justified or true, but just because, especially as a severely depressed person in America, it just devastates me that like nobody even wants to acknowledge how this is completely our word, and that it's just so pathetic and stupid, like from the successful person's end. Like, we have grown men in America that are talking down on aspiring artists as teenagers and as kids, or anyone in general, but and like grown fucking men who are playing like this exclusivity game, like, oh, only certain people can consider themselves a real pop artist. And it's so fucking annoying. And I know that it's not right and that it's not true. But I think the reason why it devastates me is because I'm alone in that belief, and I'm alone in being outraged about this and thinking that it's not right, and being one of the few normal people that don't just take it lying down and don't just think, oh yeah, you're right, you're better than me, it's your world and we're just living in it, and there's just something inside of you that's indescribable that you were born with that I could never even hope to achieve. And honestly, most pop stars' music really is not that revolutionary. I mean, it's fine. It's a song. It sounds good, The person can sing, but it's not like they're a fucking god. And it's not as if there isn't talented people all over apps that are creating things all day, every day, and that has no reach or that ever will. And those people, like I just said, are going to be gaslit for the rest of their life, thinking that it's something inside of them that's just inherently wrong, and dealing with self-esteem issues for the rest of their life, terrible jobs, low pay, mental illness, all just because they don't have that person that can see the humanity in them. And instead, we have a bunch of yes men
encouraging the already successful pop stars, telling them, oh yeah, you know, it's your world and we're just living it, and you know, you're just more human than other people, and you know, if anything that we're saying is making someone feel suicidal, well, it's not our problem and it's not our fault. Like, that is just such a lazy, inhuman headspace, and it's the reason why this world is so cheap and so boring, and why I'm stuck listening to the same Billie Eilish "What Was I Made For" song every minute of every day. And I know that I'm right, and I know that people should listen to me, but no one ever will, and that's just